Red light.
Wow. So who's gonna intro this since we've lost our
The 19th episode of the Movie Shoehorn podcast, brought to you by Eric and Zachary Mojikas, who are not here with us tonight.
In memoriam.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
You know what? Tell you what, don't miss them. Eric, who wanted to be in radio, but can't get above a 3 decibel voice, has less energy in his voice than the battery of my Toshiba laptop that died in 2004. Zachary Mojikas. The first time he says something interesting on the podcast will be the first time. Margot Robbie's hot. Christopher Nolan is a good director. And any other thoughts that he read on the internet that he thinks are his own thoughts, we don't need them. Anyway, we're talking being John Malkovic tonight.
That's the best intro. Since I've been on this, that's the best intro we've had so far. It's a perfect
by far
45-second rant. Excellent.
He'll read anything you put on the teleprompter.
So we watched a movie too. It's called Being John Malkovich.
Yeah. Came out a long time ago.
Which I'll say also, I did not see being in Zach's wheelhouse whatsoever, just to throw that out there.
It's not. He heard you mention it and globbed onto it.
I don't think I mentioned it.
You definitely mentioned it.
He's going to see this. He's going to see it. He clearly watches it.
I want them to see it.
He's not
know what they're missing.
No, he probably will.
Zach, you're welcome back anytime. I'm just
Zach,
kidding.
we love you so much.
Eric.
Don't listen to anything Travis.
Margot Robbie's hot?
Yeah. Travis came in hot. He's a little bit upset. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start.
All right, Ben. You were saying, Ben.
Oh.
I wasn't saying anything.
All
we
right,
watched that movie.
I cut you off and said,
all right, why was to dig into this?
I will say, before he starts, just a little bit of a tidbit to add on. I didn't realize who the director, I guess, was. No, writer. I didn't know who the writer was going into this, and had I known, and I've seen this before too, and still didn't know that. But had I known who the writer was before I started watching, it would have made a lot more sense to me. Charlie Kaufman, who is a great screenplay writer.
The greatest.
You know what we're watching next.
He's just odd. His stories are an evolution, and they're just sometimes kind of odd. And that's, go ahead, Wyatt.
Sometimes.
Well, next we're watching Nick's tour de force, the Philip Seymour Hoffman, who this guy also wrote that.
Which one?
So we're gonna have to watch that next, probably.
Well,
so
he not only wrote that, that's his directorial debut as well.
Wow.
So that's like his full baby.
We're probably gonna have to watch this. What is it?
Synecdoche, New York.
Travis. Travis just rebooted.
I can't do Synecdoche.
Reboot. Yeah, no. Cameron Diaz. Was this her first performance? Because how did she go so downhill after this? This was the greatest she ever touched.
The Mask was the first performance on screen.
She was a smoke show.
Wow.
It was the best because they put all this makeup on her and her hair to make her homely. So it wasn't just a role where they said, "Okay, just be hot Cameron Diaz."
Yeah, it was tremendous. To me, this movie
was actually very late in her career.
What?
Well,
this
movie.
Was?
I mean, she had already done. There's Something About Mary was before this.
She's young as shit in that.
Actually, okay. It was just that in The Mask.
I consider before Gangs of New York and after for some reason in my head I see that as kind of like the before and after of her.
Well, I would say Gangs of New York was probably her last good film.
Yeah, she's not.
I mean, I liked her in Bad Teacher. I thought she did a good job there.
She was fine in that, but that wasn't overall a great movie.
No, it's not artistic or anything like that. But no, and I think her being ugly or ugly in this and just kind of frizzled and frazzled. I always kind of think about that too. The inverse of that. Would we think of Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp as better actors if they weren't so pretty? You know what I mean? And we respect those guys, but
I think Brad Pitt is an amazing actor and he's very pretty.
Yeah, but he's just saying.
Yes, but I'm saying he also, but if he was even less attractive, if Philip Seymour Hoffman was an Adonis, would we think of him as Oh my God, he's such another level.
I can see what you mean, but I do love maybe Brad Pitt's
if he gave the exact same performances he's given, then yes, I would say I'd still consider that, because there's a certain there's a way you can portray things, and the depth in which you are able to display an emotion that relates to the story you're telling. That is something that everyone can't just do that. Like,
I 100% agree. It's just food for thought. Like, I think Daniel Day-Lewis, handsome guy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to remember, like, okay, Seymour Hoffman was a tortured soul. Like, it's the tortured souls that are really the great actors.
Most actors are.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Brad Pitt's a tortured soul.
You have no clue. You don't know. That's just what the public perceives him as. I mean,
you don't know.
But... I think isn't he one of those actors that started as a model first, though? Like, a lot of those, I wouldn't say. Sure. Whatever. Yeah. I mean,
Cameron Diaz,
I don't know.
And Charlize Theron, also a model first, and an excellent actor.
Yeah.
And probably the most beautiful woman of all
time. I
time.
did not realize that Mark Wahlberg actually started as a model.
Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein, I believe.
Yep, underwear.
Okay, I know who Mark is. I know who that is, but I didn't realize that the first thing he did was model for Calvin Klein.
No, the first thing he did was
he's so fucking
Korean
short.
guy.
That's why Boogie Nights is such a great fit for him.
He committed a hate crime. He has no business being even popular. He beat the shit out of a Korean guy back in the day.
All right, we're getting off track.
So did Aaron Whipple, and he's a cop.
Directorial debut of Spike Jonez.
And I loved it, Travis.
Was it really?
Yes. Actually, I read a pretty good tidbit that Charlie Kaufman sent this script to Francis Ford Coppola, who is the husband of his sister, I think. I don't know. Now I'm getting confused. But anyway, Spike Jonez is married to the Coppola woman. He saw it. I think he had written some stuff. He directed,
He's married to Sofia Coppola?
Yeah, or was at the time. I don't. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing, dude.
And he went to Charlie Kaufman and begged him, loved the script, and begged him to direct it. And he did it. Yeah, just a match made in heaven.
Dude, I mean, this movie. Great fact. This movie was this is exactly what I'm talking about when someone how do you come up with the idea of all of these things tied into one plot? The 7.5 floor. I can't get over that. I'll never forget it. It's one of the greatest.
Well, Octavia Spencer.
It made the whole movie.
First time, let me walk you through it.
7.5 floor, right?
Yeah.
She looks at him like her typical shit.
I was hoping that I mean, and like I said, I've seen this before, but it must have been either so long ago or I was really stoned when I watched it.
By the way, sorry, go
ahead. But I was hoping she had a bigger part in the movie. I was like, okay, you're gonna throw us at her right there.
Yeah, I thought she would too.
We don't see her again. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
In that point in time, she was not a big actor,
That's why I was so surprised. I was like, you were smart enough to put her in for this one little role, but you couldn't expand it a little. Whatever, no, it's fine.
It was
adding a resume, getting.
It was this was like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory when they went into that floor. When that became the setting, it just made me so happy. For some reason, and then you add on to that a trap door, that's a hidden. I'm obsessed with like trap doors, weird compartments, any sort of mysterious shit. And this was just the weirdest, oddest.
I'll remember that next time.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask: did anybody have any thoughts about the lobby before he gets onto the elevators in that building?
I don't remember.
No.
So every time I see it, and I need to check it out, it looks exactly like the same building they use in Men in Black to go on the elevators to go up.
Right, okay.
It looks exactly the same. I'm fairly certain it is the same set.
Probably.
Or building or whatever.
Yeah, they're using the same set.
I love that fucking building. His puppetry, he's the greatest artist ever. He's a tortured artist. This guy's a genius.
I love the movie, and I think
terrific.
My favorite part was Laura. She really failed to just make the jump when they just fell out onto the New Jersey Turnpike.
Right.
It was just like she just couldn't comprehend that. And I was like, yes, this movie is everything.
Yeah.
That was such a great little
so quirky
thing. Yeah.
Where they lived, it was a zoo in a basement. It was everything was
so weird.
when they throw the can, hey Malkovich, and they throw the beer can and hits him. That was not scripted. Those were drunk kids that were extras, and that actually happened. And it was like Spike Jonez was like, "That's fucking cool."
That's so sick.
That's a lucky happy accident.
They said, "Hey Malkovich, think fast."
Yeah. Really? I've read something else about that said it was different than that.
Or it's something like it was not intended.
What I heard is that they were gonna do it, and Spike Jonez was like, "Nah, nobody's gonna be able to hit him." And they were like, "Who wants to throw a can at John Malkovich?" And all the cast and crew raised their hand.
Maybe that's what it was. And I've heard a story about that. I thought it was not scripted.
And I forget who, but I think one of the writers or something got to do it, and he did it on the first take.
Okay, then sorry, bullshit fact checking.
No, I don't know.
This movie was one of a kind. This is the type of shoehorn movie. Like, I don't know how I hadn't seen this. I'm kind of glad because it was like kind of a stoner movie for sure. I mean, when they said we'll have her over, we'll smoke a joint, I was just like, oh fuck yeah, it's just so normal. Like, come over and get weird with us. And
at what
point? Oh yeah, Malkovich going into Malkovich.
That was fucking weird.
Them going into subconscious.
That was weird.
I think the number one thing about this movie, and I obviously I have different perspective, seeing it so many times, but I think at its core.
Oh boy.
I think at its core.
That's hilarious.
That's the greatest freeze.
Oh no.
So
I want to know so bad.
At its core, I think what he was going to say was...
I actually hated Cameron Diaz in this movie.
Oh, wow. That's unreal.
Why? Because she's not as hot as she should be?
No, it had nothing to do with the attractiveness of her. It was more of just like, I hate that character, you know? I mean...
yeah.
But I also get it because Cusack's character in this movie is such a depressed fuck.
Dude,
He is the definition of a sad sack.
The second he gets any attention from her, he's willing to throw his whole marriage away. And he's just it's so funny how but he's so willing to admit how much of a piece of shit he is. She's just like, she didn't even want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. And he's just like, you're right. She didn't. Like, literally, she didn't even want me.
Yeah.
Like, and that turn though, when he went like a little ballistic, kind of wasn't the biggest fan of that. Didn't really see that coming, but I guess I don't know. He was clearly that obsessed. But when they were both willing to throw away their marriage, like he was first, and then she started not giving a fuck about him, and they both like lunged at her. Like, all that shit was so funny. It was so good, man. It was a really good movie.
I don't know at what point I cut out there, but I was saying if we consider this a comedy, I feel like because it's such an odd thing to watch, I feel like when the first time you laugh is the time that you start getting involved in the movie. And I was going to ask, at what point do you guys remember laughing the first time?
The old guy. It had to be the old guy because he was quickly.
Yeah. Him and the receptionist were pretty funny.
Well, well, here. I wrote this. I'm stopped on this quote that I love. I mean, to me, this feels like a Big Lebowski type movie where the more you watch it, the more you'll appreciate some of these quotes. But I really love this quote by the receptionist, which was, "I'm sorry, I have no time for piddling suggestions from mumbling job applicants."
So, did you guys laugh?
I think one of
the street performance of the scribe, like the monk and the
punches
when he's cringing. I was cringing at the same time, but
that's when the movie took off for me the first time I watched it, when I was just like, that's perfect. It's just like,
it was hilarious. The guy didn't even say anything. He just looked and was like, what? He just like immediately punched him in the face. What the fuck are you doing?
I think my two favorite.
Please, your two favorite.
My two favorite lines in the movie were after the long conversation about what all the animals needed from Cameron Diaz to Cusack's character. So, honey, have you thought more about us getting pregnant?
He doesn't even know.
That was one of the first times I laughed. And then I think the number one favorite line for me was from Cusack when Malkovich figures out what's going on, and he said they let him go down the tunnel, and he says, "What happens when a man goes into his own portal?"
Yeah.
I love that. I love that line.
That
line was one of my Marty names in the chat. When he says, "I want my name to be synonymous with puppets."
Yeah. I want my name to be
synonymous with puppets is one of.
I remember that one.
My head is like how that's such a crazy.
The best
thought.
scene. No, the best was when Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
I think inevitably we'll all pivot to puppetry.
We'll all be making our transition to puppetry.
Yeah. That actually was my favorite part, for sure.
I also thought that the Charlie Sheen bits were fantastic because those were Charlie Sheen bits before it was publicly known that Charlie Sheen was like a dirtbag.
That is hot.
It was.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you as a friend, you can't get rid of a girl who's calling you Lottie.
Yeah.
Was he?
Hey, when you're done with her,
are they actual friends in real life? Are they like friends?
They seem like an unlikely couple.
Remember, he said, "And we'll call up Gary Sinise."
Yeah, we might bring Gary Sinise.
And you know how funny? I also thought the first time they ever go into Malkovich, the first person perspective, like that POV, when he's ordering bullshit out of a catalog and like eating.
Yeah, the color of the towel.
He just has no, like, he's just the mundane bullshit. There's nothing special about him. He's just a guy.
Yeah, literally. They're watching him fucking order different. Oh, we don't have that. Oh, you don't? His voice is so.
The bath mat? Could I get 3 hand towels?
Oh, he's eating Chinese. I'm sorry. He's got like going through the Chinese boxes.
His voice is so unique and weird. John Malkovich, man. He is an odd fucking cat. And I guess I probably never watched this movie because it came out when I was, 11, and I didn't know who the fuck he even was yet. So why would I watch a movie about a guy an actor that I wouldn't get it, I thought, That's what I think I thought, like, same for me. But, goddamn, dude. This was seriously so unique. So many fucking chances were taken. Just such a vision, kind of.
Crazy.
I mean, I was gonna say coming into this that this was the first Spike Jonez movie I've seen, but I also have seen Her. I realized, which
Her
I
is
loved.
What else?
When Her came, I thought that was the best movie of the last 5 years.
Yeah,
when I'd seen it.
No, Her is amazing, but I haven't seen Adaptation, which I guess is his other big one.
Oh, that's a really.
He did 3 Kings.
Wait. Spike Jonez directed Adaptation?
I don't know. I think so.
He was in 3 Kings.
I can tell I've got Charlie Kaufman up.
It's Charlie Kaufman writing about Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
he didn't direct it.
Spike Jonez did direct it.
Yeah.
I know that. That's awesome.
That's great.
That movie. I would honestly say that is probably Charlie Kaufman's best movie. Is Adaptation.
No. That's probably lowest on the totem pole for me.
Really?
Yeah. It just doesn't have the same. I know that it's like the layers of himself and the alter ego and all of that going on with his twin.
Well,
but
no, it's vintage. This is what he does in almost not all.
No, I'm sorry. Movies, the worst he's done is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is my least favorite of his. I'm very sorry. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't even know I didn't know he did that, and I don't hate that movie, but it's just.
Well, the bars. It's like for anybody that's truly great. The bar, like when you to say something's bad, it's still above.
So wait, which one do you think is his best?
His best, I think, is being John Malkovich. I think that this is it. I think it doesn't get better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really have an opinion except I like both this and Her probably equally.
Are you saying Spike Jonez now?
He's doing Spike Jonez, but we're talking Charlie.
Oh, you were talking Charlie Kaufman. Okay, sorry.
Oh, he did Where the Wild Things Are. What the fuck?
Oh, I forgot. I never saw that, but I forgot he directed that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I don't think I really. Yeah, he didn't. He hasn't done much.
What about the? Would you say were you surprised by the ending? Was that a twist?
Oh my god! Yeah, I was weird as shit.
What do you mean?
But it made sense.
Body,
it wasn't a
vessel?
twist. They told you it was inevitable, and he kind of said he was gonna do it.
He did.
Yeah, he said I'm gonna when they left him on the road, like he's not with us. That was so funny. He was such a piece of shit. Like he constantly just got fucked. Like, no, I love you. They're like, fuck off. He literally went, I'm just gonna go back into the body. He like yelled it. And obviously if you listened before, they said if you go into whatever, that you'll be trapped in the infant form or whatever. I think they kind of said it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was weird as shit when I realized that, and he's like obsessing over one of his lesbian moms, and he's with him. That daughter was very odd to me. Just like I said, I love the fact that this guy was willing to just do all this types of weird fucking shit, and like why the old people were like sucking the life out of other people.
Yeah,
how that came about.
They were just stealing their consciousness, essentially.
So odd. Very odd.
They gave him 44 years.
right.
I read that in
nice of them.
In one of the original scripts or the first version of the script that guy was actually Satan, basically. Feldman or whatever his name is.
Wow, okay.
That makes sense.
Satan.
Lester? Dr. Lester? Lester?
Well, but Lester was who was the guy in the video?
Oh, Captain whatever.
Yeah, whoever that was. He would.
That video is. That video is so
wild,
man.
That I wrote that down. The midget video. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The best part of the midget video is.
So that's the story.
The people, yeah, those people. That's the story, and the overhead is low, like them, like really cheesy, and like, oh man.
105. I drink carrot juice. I pee. It's horrible. I'm peeing.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I want to get an erect penis and stick it in your whatever he says.
In your wet orifice. Yeah. when you quoted and Zach didn't get it because he doesn't watch the films. That was. I mean, he's like, I bet you can't understand a word that I'm saying, and I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry if you can't understand a word that I'm saying.
So odd. So good.
I'm isolated in my tower of indecipherable speech.
You know when he's at the bar and she like gives him that second chance and he says, "Well, I'm a puppeteer," and she said, "Check please."
Now we haven't mentioned Catherine Keener yet, and she was excellent in this fucking movie.
It was great.
One of the tidbits I really liked, which to me shows even more that how good of the performance was, is she like really didn't like this character. Because it's like confident and sexy.
Yeah, she did
and
suck.
Yeah.
Rude or something. It's sort of a bad person. And so she really didn't like the character, but she did such a good job playing it.
I often think that, and that's interesting you said that, because I often think why doesn't she and Cameron Diaz have reverse roles? Like that would be the normal casting you would expect.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because Catherine, is that her name? Keener? Catherine Keener? She is so good at being like a witty, sarcastic asshole, and I don't think people would have taken that seriously coming from Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed it. I like seeing Cameron Diaz not in that platinum blonde, just hot chick bullshit that she does in every single fucking role. I don't like her because of that. So to me, this was like a huge breath of fresh air of maybe she should do this more often, because I really can't picture her looking any different than how she normally looks in a movie other than this. Like, I really can't.
Yeah.
She hasn't been in a movie in like fucking 10 years or more, I think.
No, she probably has. It just.
Well, no, she retired. I think
she really has.
Oh, she's dating one of the fucking good Charlotte.
She's married to Benji.
That's ridiculous.
Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
Is it Good Charlotte
Let's go
or
Benji's.
it's Blink
Let's go
182, isn't
Benji's.
it?
No. It's Good Charlotte. It's not even Blink 182. She fucking whistles.
Hey, can't you have some love for a local talent?
No, they're garbage. Fuck them. No, Blink 182 for life, dude. Good Charlotte. What am I, Slitton?
Well, I think the thing about
That's
Good
not what
Charlotte
their
was their
songs
first
were
album. It was
I wouldn't
fine
know.
enough. They got into this weird thing where they sold out so hard for the Hot Topic thing. Like they got the gel in the hair and the eyeshadow all of a sudden.
The lip rings.
They did whatever their album producer told them.
Yeah, exactly, Travis. It was like
money.
They sold out to the weird side.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to look like while I'm doing
sells.
Oh yeah, I don't know how we got off on that track, but yeah, Good Charlotte sucks just for everyone. Good Charlotte.
Cameron Diaz.
But apparently people didn't even
Diaz.
Cameron didn't know that like people weren't gonna even recognize her in this movie when she
had like
it took 30 minutes for me to realize that was her.
Yeah, we know, Ben. You're slow sometimes, Ben. We know, but it's okay.
Well, they didn't give me a good shot of her face until like maybe he gets punched in the face and goes to the vet or wherever she works. But I even felt like I wasn't 100% sure until they were back in the place. And I heard her voice again.
To be honest, when I did hear her voice, I was trying to place it, and then I was like shocked that it was Cameron Diaz. Like, what the? That's who this is?
Well, I mean, that was very early.
Okay. Dude.
I also think it's odd how they play with it, but the idea is so odd in and of itself that you don't even care about or think about the androgyny aspect of like her as a man and being loved as a man, but being a woman.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems like, oh, it's not even a taboo topic.
I took a slight bit of issue with that at the end. Like, oh, you're the father, but you were not. Malkovich is the father. Like,
super odd. But people are doing that.
That's how that makes that girl the vessel moving forward.
But I
wish that had been explained a little more. Like, does the vessel have to be the product of the vessel?
What's the fucking difference between a sperm donor and a lesbian couple in that? Like, in that scenario, they're not even within the body fucking the person. Like, this is way more intimate than it could ever be. You know?
I think anything
I don't disagree in that sense, but like, it's like, what's the point of even coming up with that thought?
I don't know.
Think about adaptation. Did anybody see, by the way, the Netflix film? I think he directed it as well. Jesse Plummer was in it. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
No.
That's a shoehorn for sure. It's not his best, but it's,
you mean,
again,
Clemens?
very strange. But to the same point is, for him, physical reality is nothing, right? Like everything is he's so about mental aspects of things. He's literally crawling around in Malkovich's brain at some point, going through his subconscious. He's so obsessed with the levels of consciousness that, the question of who's the father, even though it's the same person, it is an interesting question for him. And it might not be for Ben, which is fair, but he's not interested in the physical reality of things whatsoever, I don't think. If that makes sense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, those were two of the best parts when, he goes in there and Malkovich. And then when he's going through the subconscious, seeing all the shit in his childhood and stuff, that shit was crazy, man.
That was nuts. Weird. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of deeper meaning probably.
No woman can run like that when she's 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, she was pretty pregnant.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to fall like that from 20 feet in the air. But it was one of my. I also love the line from Catherine Keener, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but something like, have you ever felt the lust of two people staring at you from one set of eyes?
So weird. It was
getting her off.
Well, what was weird was that she supposedly noticed when Cameron Diaz's character was in the body, but then she got banged by John Cusack and seemingly didn't know because she had to tell her. So kind of a little plot hole there, Spike Jonez.
Well, she saw what she wanted to see, you know.
She was just horned up. She got tricked. She was just like, "Fuck it." Like, yeah, probably, maybe, I don't know. But
it just she thought Cameron Diaz was there, which is all she needed.
Right, true. But she made it seem like she looked and could tell or something.
Well, according to her,
she could tell.
So.
Yeah,
and eventually she did tell. And then when it comes time with the baby and everything, she realizes that she's made a huge mistake following John Cusack's character, right? And then her true love is, I mean, it's so
Lottie.
fucked up. It's her true love is Lottie. And eventually, she no longer needs Malkovich to be.
When John Malkovich,
which she experiences her,
when he figures it out and follows them to the 7.5 floor, that was so funny. Like he's like ducking or like duck. That was really good. I did enjoy that a lot.
What services do they offer here?
The cab driver is a 10 out of 10, by the way. No, you were in that Jewel Thief movie.
Yeah, I kept saying that. No, you were.
No, and when Cusack is explaining it to what's her face, he says, "Oh yeah, he was really good in that Jewel Thief."
Exactly.
Which I've heard recently that happens to actors all the time. People are always coming up to them and saying, "Oh, you were so good in that movie." You know, they're confusing, you know, people who you wouldn't even really think are, you know, confusable. Right. I can't remember. I heard one recently.
Well, people are dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, how brave or dumb you have to be to go up to these people and say, like, you know, to John Cusack, how good were you in, you know, Ant-Man?
Yeah, I mean, people are seriously so confident and dumb. It's really sad. Like, how can you be both?
If I was gonna do that, I'd have to have like an artsy film they did in mind to mention to them, so that I might stroke their ego a little, and they might actually want to bear my presence for a moment longer.
God,
well, that's fine, but at least just pick a movie that they were in.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be that dumb. I'm not that dumb. I don't think anybody on this podcast is that dumb.
No.
Well,
I hope to never encounter a celebrity. So.
Yeah, it's very odd. I saw Chad Dukes at Whole Foods once and was like,
"Oh, really?
This is fucking weird."
And is that really a celebrity?
Well, I listened to him a lot, so kind of it was weird.
This was during a time you were listening to him every day or a lot.
It was weird, man. It was too much for me. Like,
did you acknowledge him?
No, I will never. I will never. I dropped groceries off to Danny Rouillet. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say shit. That's so weird. Hey, man, I know who you are.
I got to Imagine Dragons when my mom was working with them.
Yeah, that's.
Meanwhile,
weird.
I mean, you have to talk to
I even brought up. I said, "Oh, I'm Breezy's son," and they were like, "Okay, cool." Like they didn't realize what I was saying.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah, there was a time when Desi was like living with Gilbert Arenas for a little bit. You know,
he just ran into him like at the mall.
Constantly would do that.
So weird.
That's odd.
Yeah, I ran into Alex Ovechkin again. Got him to take a picture with me.
Hey, Alex, come here. I would never do that. I don't. First of all, I don't give a fuck, and I don't want to. I don't. It's
Ovi saw me in line at Panda Express and said, "You want to have lunch?" And you know, so
the only thing I would want is an autograph. Give me an autograph. I can sell that potentially.
I don't think you could. For how much?
No,
$12.
Autographs are not for selling. I feel like if you want an autograph, you get it for you.
I have like Ozzie Smith, the Wizard's autograph. What's that cost? What's that going for? The Wizard, Ozzie Smith.
What's it on?
Nothing good. Piece of paper, I'm sure.
You have a different experience though, Ben, because you were selling Joe Pesci autographs.
Good for you. No, that's good, man.
Joe Pesci autograph?
Come up. What did you get?
Oh yeah, I think I still have those somewhere.
Pesh
dog. You had that whole eBay store down there. That was the greatest thing ever, man.
Yeah, you love Pesh.
Dude, that was all shit my dad or my mom got for like fundraising events. people would donate shit like that. Sense. That was the stuff that didn't sell. Surprisingly,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, go down.
Dude, I wish I could find those Pesci fucking autographs. I'd love to fucking have those.
All right, well, you can talk to TJ and buy them back.
What did I give them all to TJ? Maybe.
Well, I think TJ had a Robin Williams from Birdcage. He had a Joe Pesci like black and white photo, and I think he had one from what's Sex in the City? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
I like Sarah.
He had her too, and I think they're all from your basement.
Sarah Jessica?
The Birdcage and the first two make sense. I don't know about Sarah Jessica Parker, but I thought I sold one to Eric too.
I think Eric has the Birdcage or something. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. I can't remember.
That seems like an Eric thing.
Stalls.
He's got it in his office on a plaque or something. It's really cute. Well, this was a great movie.
Action figures were
pretty much.
We didn't. This is one of those weird ones though. We didn't need to tell anyone this is a great movie. This is already regarded as a great movie. It's just.
It's very
it's a fucking 99 flick. Like people won't really like think of it top of mind at this point. So like 24 years later, yeah, it's still a good movie.
Yeah, that actually is pretty crazy that it's 24 years old. It doesn't really seem like it's 24 years old.
I am such a fucking like Cusack stan. I love everything he does.
He's great.
He's great.
And he doesn't
even
really
the bad movies. I like them.
Do much. He's just himself, kind of like he's one of those guys that just has something, man.
One thing I will say that one of the worst movies. It's very seldom that I'll actually just stop a movie, and I stopped in the first 15 minutes. It was called The Raven, and John Cusack plays Edgar Allan Poe, and it's unwatchable. It's like truly very difficult.
You know, there's a weird Cusack film that came out. I don't know if it was before or after Hot Tub Time Machine 1 or 2.
Oh man!
But it's got him and Morgan Freeman as like vigilantes. It's rough.
Yeah, I could see him doing some rough films.
I think I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it before, and I probably should nominate it as a shoehorn if we can even find the goddamn thing. But it's called Max, and I've definitely mentioned on one of these calls before. John Cusack plays a Jewish art dealer in Berlin after World War I, and Hitler is an aspiring artist that he is coaching to like get him to realize himself. And so
Speaking of Hitler.
So Hitler.
I remember you talking about that.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Again?
You always look at him. He always does it at a good time. He's pontificating.
Right, yeah, right when he's in the middle of his speech.
His hand is like he's frozen.
Okay, well, a couple of Cusack went on a run.
Hey, Nick.
You want to finish your thought?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I would recommend that movie, Max. It's really interesting. It's not like one of the greatest movies you'll ever see, but it's an interesting, like, move. It's just interesting, and John Cusack's good.
Well, for my money, because I'm a '90s, early 2000s man. Cusack went on a pretty damn good run for my taste. Con Air, 97. Being John Malkovich, 1999. High Fidelity, 2000. And I liked Serendipity, 2001.
Where's Grosse Point Blank?
That must be 97. Earlier. Oh, yeah. Grosse Point Blank, also 97.
High Fidelity is so good.
All I care about is his run right here. This is
High Fidelity is money.
You want to hear a run?
I want to hear a run.
This is a Cusack run. He goes 2012 Hot Tub Time Machine, The Raven to top it off. Ooh.
Wait, you don't like Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, I love those. I love 2012 as well. I was the last one as a joke. No, I love Hot Tub Time Machine so much. And I actually like the second one. I think it's kind of underrated.
Never saw it.
I never saw it either.
It's got the dude, they replaced Cusack with Adam Scott.
Adam Scott?
He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, the movie's awful though.
Oh, Adam Scott.
It's pretty bad, but he's pretty funny in it. It's not as bad as I expected, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying it's that great, but it's nothing compared to the first. But it's really, how could you make something again like that? That was a flash in the pan. Nobody thought that was going to be good.
But that's crazy. John Malkovich was nominated for Best Director, but not Best Picture. I feel like that doesn't happen a lot.
What about writer?
I don't know.
Not Best Writer? To me, that's Best Writer.
Best Writer is such a joke. Like, that's just a problem.
You were talking about it. It lost to something else ridiculous, right? Or it was.
I don't remember.
Was it? I swear to God, if you say Jerry Maguire, I'll blow my head off.
It probably was, dude. I mean,
that won like Best Picture.
I mean, in regardless of like what's best movie of the year, like the reason, and I think it was Ben's point. This was made 24 years ago. It still holds up today. It's no matter if it was made today, it would still feel incredibly original. Like the original. It's hard to like tap into that level of like that class of art, like that skill. It's incredible. It's one of those things like that's why movies are made. Like that's why the media.
And now you know what, Nick? And that's why I give it a 9.25. I'm coming in with my rating. It's a 9.25. This is one of the most original movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not saying it was perfect in every aspect, but it was perfect in the aspect of it was fucking out there, man. It was out there, and they took chances, man, and they hit on a few,
I can't wait to watch this movie again. It seems like Nick is maybe along these lines of loving it more with each rewatch. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean it's been decades of learning of the most studied.
The most studied, yeah. But I mean, that's something I love about The Big Lebowski, and I feel like the lines in this movie are so good and are only going to get better. To me, this is a 10 out of 10. Easy. This is why we go to the movie.
Good job.
Nick said it better, probably. This is why the media.
Do you remember when he gets punched and Cameron Diaz is like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'm a puppeteer." It's like all he has to say. It's just
who's going to want a puppeteer in this wintry economic climate?
Yeah. This is what happens. It's obvious.
So good. And just her, I guess I got to put adaptation on my list of things to watch now.
I've never seen that, I don't think. Who's in that?
Anything he's written, just watch it. It's
the same combination of directed by Spike Jonez, written by Charlie Kaufman. It's got Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, and somebody else.
And I hate Tilda.
It has the dad from.
I want Tilda Swinton dead. Can we start a podcast? I want her dead. I hate her. Hate her face. I hate
Tilda.
I hate her.
Tilda.
The dad from Beauty is in that as well.
Who's not Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, the one that's gay at the end.
I can't remember actually.
Who's the guy? He has the son that the bag blowing in the wind. Like he's the dad of that guy.
I actually can't really remember that movie. It's been a long time.
Oh, he's in a lot. You'd know exactly what he's in. I can't pull anything else right.
I'll find it. But
I will find you.
I will find you.
I will find you.
God, what was I gonna say?
This fucking
can't remember.
Yes.
Nick, what's your rating?
It's a 10. It's a top.
It's a fucking 10.
It's a top 5 movie I've ever seen in my life, without or no reservation on that whatsoever.
That's all you need.
Have I ever given a 10 on this podcast? I don't think I have. Right?
Hell no.
Ben doesn't give 10s.
Ben has never.
That's why I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
He just can't do it. You can't give it 10.
I don't think I have either.
There's no such thing as the perfect movie.
I disagree.
Yeah, there is one. It's called Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is pretty much a perfect movie.
Holler at your boy.
Ratatouille is a 10 out of 10.
That's why I love you guys. You really get it.
When I was at work and I was having an argument, like a heated debate with my coworker at the time. And I said, Ratatouille operates on so many levels. It's about like class distinctions and how we treat other people from different classes. Like, is that resonating with you guys? Do you guys agree with that?
Yes. Yeah,
like,
I
it's
agree.
Like anyone can cook. The mouse is a Parisian,
Exactly.
like the rat that they're trying to kill is a Parisian chef.
Yeah.
And you know,
100. That's the fucking point of the movie.
Of course, right? Of course. I'm making sure I'm not crazy because he turned to me and he said, it's a Disney movie about a rat that can cook.
He up in the kitchen. He not supposed to be in the kitchen, player.
It's an animated movie about a rat that can cook, Nick. You don't have to get all Marxist on us.
Dude, that's why I love those movies.
When they shit on that movie in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Raccoonie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was pretty funny. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, that wasn't really shitting on it. That was almost like in reverence to it.
Yeah, I don't know how they were. What do you mean shitting on it?
Homage.
Yeah, it was.
Homage, okay.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay, clearly he's.
They replaced the rat with a raccoon.
So how do you not watch movies that you're too scared of, but then you won't watch Ratatouille? As you don't respect Ratatouille? What do you watch? Where's the middle ground? Sounds awful.
Why would I watch Ratatouille? It's a children's movie.
Yeah, you're such an adult with your toys behind you.
Sounds like you would get along great with Nick's coworker.
You fucking watch Dragon Ball Z. Give me a fucking break. That's garbage.
Hey, I don't watch it because they don't make new
garbage compared to Ratatouille.
No, that's actually my favorite quote of all time.
Garbage.
Why would I watch Ratatouille? It's a children's movie.
That's so sad. I'm so glad I don't live in a world where I think I'm too good for Ratatouille. Have you ever seen Inside Out? Because you'll cry like a baby. Oh, you will be.
Okay, yes, I have, and I did cry like a baby.
Yeah.
I cried from that. I cried at a drive-in.
That movie is so touching. It's not even.
I cried
funny.
so hard in that movie.
Rolled my eyes out at that.
I saw that movie with Amanda's family at a drive-in movie theater, and her dad looked at me when I was crying and was like, "This kid is a pussy."
I scalped a man. He's crying during.
You were already married?
No.
Oh, how did you marry her after that?
It was in Sperryville. That I don't even know if that drive-in exists. It's the only drive-in movie theater I've ever been to. And man, the dad was just like, "What the fuck, man?"
I can't believe, but like, Ben, it's crazy because you love cooking. To me, like the intimacy of like being a chef is one of the reasons I love Ratatouille. How they it's like a love story with food.
No, that climax of that movie, I've talked a lot about, like, I mean, I don't know about with you guys, but like, have you guys seen Queen's Gambit?
I know.
Like the Queen's Gambit climax, like these are such fucking payoffs, man. They're just like to the maximum.
Well, hold on. Is the climax of Ratatouille when the critic has a taste of Ratatouille?
Absolutely. And he goes back to his childhood.
What's Queen's Gambit?
Some
Netflix show about chess. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Oh, is that the one with
Anna Taylor-Joy?
Yeah. Okay, I've seen that. That's a good. That's a good show.
Like the climax where she doesn't take the drugs and then she sees the chess game moving out on the ceiling. That shit gave me chills. But anyway, Ratatouille, similar thing when the critic tastes the food. I mean,
the critic's review when he's talking about. He says something so poignant about we critics we risk nothing, and we I forget exactly the phrasing, but his essay about reviewing that after that, I love how that that whole thing you could print that out and frame it.
I love that guy's voice they use.
It's as good as you'll ever read.
So good, dude. I love it.
Great review.
It's perfect, and he's changed because of that.
I think I like it. I feel like I like it because when they open the restaurant after, remember, they're running like the when he's like front
called Ratatouille,
and I think it reminds me of like the beginning of the Rescuers Down Under. Do you remember? Do you remember
Been a long
when
time.
they're running that kitchen and there's a bunch of little creatures and they're like moving this little like caper. Oh my god! I feel like they took parts of that. I feel like they do that a lot with movies and animated movies like that. That is a staple to me. The Rescuers Down Under. I don't know if y'all.
It was
he was
unbelievable.
4 or 5 months old, and we threw that on, and they're like doing the kind of the UN meeting with all the different and stuff, and the cork and getting oh man, this shit is
exactly
superb.
It's really well done.
I honestly don't remember it, but I know that was one of the VHSs that we just wore that fucking thing out. We watched that all the time.
The opening scene in that movie is unbelievable. They're in like Australia. The dude's first of all, the kid's name is Cody, and that was my brother's name, so it was really cool. And he's like out. It's fucking sick. They do like these crazy flash pans through like those crazy structures out in like the desert and shit.
And what's crazy is that when those movies are coming out, like those are old ass movies. We also watched Sword in the Stone, and that's from the 70s. And you're getting like it's so trippy when he's in the he turns into a fish, and then it's really dangerous. Like it makes like those movies go to an extra length to make you feel like anxiety.
Yeah,
it's really bad actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was watching it feeling like this is not a kid's movie. Anyway, but for Ben, they're animated, so why would he watch them?
They're for children.
Yeah, well, whatever.
They're made by really smart people, clearly.
I mean, dude, I don't know, man.
They're fucking geniuses because really they're probably the best movie makers ever because they capture such a fucking wide audience. That's so fucking hard to do.
Oh man, they're smart people doing really smart things is what's going on. It's awesome.
I fucking had a fucking boner. I think that was like an Adam Sandler bit. Fucking.
All right. Well, whose turn is it, Eric? Oh shit.
Wait a second. So we had a 10, a 10, a 9.25, and a 9 from Ben.
Yeah, it's the highest rated.
Average is off the charts. Right?
Yeah, good week to skip.
All right,
Eric,
so let's think about it this way. I went 2 weeks ago, right? Was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang 2 weeks ago?
So,
I think
episode 17. That's right.
And was the one before that an Eric pick?
Let's see. I can pull up the list. Probably we can figure it out.
Pick.
The one was last week, right?
Yeah, the one that was Eric. That was last week.
Okay, so Eric. Okay, so
Jet
it's got to be either Wyatt or Travis's turn.
No, Wyatt did the submarine movie.
Hunter Killer Wyatt, AI
probably
me.
Travis.
So it was me, Wyatt, Ben, Eric. So Nick, I think it's Nick's Eastern Promises.
Well, who picked Malkovich technically?
Zach.
Okay.
So.
Well, Nick, please pick what you already. I want to watch this guy's this guy's other movie.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go that direction, but we can.
I want that.
All right.
I think he was.
Do whatever you want. It's your pick.
I'll leave it between. So let's whittle down 3 options. 2 will be Spike Lee films, and the other will be this Synecdoche, New York one.
Only Spikes.
Okay. So since we've been talking about it since the first time I ever joined this call, and apparently Ben has buy-in now because he saw it on a list. His 25th hour, I think, would be a good shoehorn. And then also,
who's in that?
What's that?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. So
bad joke.
25th hour. It's really Edward Norton's crowning achievement, I would say. But
wow,
Brian Cox is really good. Anyway, that
love him.
And I would also say Summer of Sam would be an excellent shoehorn.
The one with Leguizamo?
Yes, and I think it's one of Adrian Brody's best things he'll ever do, and he's done now. Like he's cooked.
Who is Summer of Sam?
I didn't like that movie that much.
Okay, so Summer of Sam is about the son of Sam.
Well, that's what I mean. Who is the son of Sam in that?
So he was a serial killer.
Leguizamo.
No, I know. Yeah, I know who he is. It was Leguizamo.
No. It's about a little. It's not about the killer himself. The killer's in the movie, but he's completely secondary, maybe even tertiary to the story. It's about the the paranoia that sets in when there's a serial killer in New York City.
Okay.
And so the people in that community, in this I guess they're a Dominican or something like that. Like they're a Latin enclave in New York, and they're like, oh, there's a serial killer on the loose, and eventually they're like, well, maybe it's him because he's so crazy and weird. So it's the paranoia boiling over, and people
like the Salem witchcraft hysteria.
Yeah, it becomes a witch hunt type of scenario, except there's an actual fear, like there's an actual people are dying. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it sounds like Ben does not like that movie, which is fine, and he's already seen it. So I'd be happy to go.
Well, fuck, I forgot. So wait, Leguizamo's character wasn't. Leguizamo's character wasn't Son of Sam.
I thought you saw it.
Are you fucking serious?
I thought you saw it. You
I
can't
was
say
gonna say, I
you
don't
see
think
things.
Leguizamo is really like Son
You
of
can't say you see
Sam.
things if you haven't seen them.
So have you ever seen Seinfeld, Ben?
Doesn't make sense.
Do you think John Leguizamo played a character that Newman had the mailbag of? Do you remember his name?
I watched that episode today. Watch what you're eating, or watch the snacks or something.
Well, no, it's about it. And boy, were there a lot of dogs on that route.
Oh, there was a lot of dogs on that route, yeah.
Because
the guy says to him, the oil guy says to him, "Did he ever say anything to you?" And he said, "Oh, he just said watch the snacks."
It's crazy that the Son of Sam in Mindhunter. Has anybody seen Mindhunter? I know Nick's seen it. Oh,
yes.
You're still with us. But the Son of Sam in that is the kid from Ben. What's the golf show? The country club show?
Red Oaks.
Red Oaks. The fat friend in Red Oaks is Son of Sam in Mindhunter.
Oh, yeah. So no, I wouldn't say John Leguizamo was a good cast for David Berkowitz, if that's what you're asking.
Didn't you said? I mean, I'm pretty set on what I want to see too. But you said you had a third option?
Would be Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
and Travis is not going to pick that based on the fact that it's real difficult to say, and I can't say it either.
No, I've been wanting to watch 25th Hour for a while. I say we do it.
And it has a good Marty tie-in. You have a Hall of Fame Ravens player on there. Tony Saragusa is an excellent.
Tony Saragusa.
Rest in peace.
Goose.
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, wow.
You will be floored by his performance.
I've heard that. Okay. I mean, I love Ed Norton, but this kind of falls in the category of, oh man, here goes another one. This is gonna go to my bucket full of depressing.
I think you'll really like this one.
Okay, give it to me.
You'll like it.
All right, good. That's why we do this, huh, guys?
Got to fill in those gaps.
That's why, huh?
Call it the Movie Gaps Podcast. Blind Spot.
Okay. Wow, he's spitballing. Keep going.
Revisited.
I
wanted, yeah, like John Cusack. Misty
regurgitation.
I hated that part of the movie.
You hated it?
I hated that part.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate the English patient.
Sounds kind of stupid, but
well, there it is. It gets a overall score of 9.3999973, and that is an official score. Nothing's ever been rated higher.
Thanks, Zach.
For good reason. Thanks, Zach,
nice.
for showing up. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being on 2 podcasts and then big timing us.
Hey, he can come back in a year. That's fine.
What is he doing right now that could be more?
They're not doing anything.
They left on the
him and Eric